You know, if I may, Chairman, thank you. I know the President and the FCC are committed to the development of these 5G networks. Can you explain why why the U.S. should make an effort to be at the forefront of 5G development, especially as other countries like China have made it a priority? And two, how is the FCC undertaking the important work of expanding our nation's 5G networks while at the same time considering the needs of currently underserved areas like rural Ohio that may not have access to 5G connectivity for many years?
Great questions, Congressman. With respect to the first, it's important for two reasons. Number one, because it's a major driver of job creation and economic growth in this country, along with encouraging entrepreneurship and innovation. The other countries around the world saw what America did with 4G LTE, creating the networks of the future at the time, and the mobile app economy that went along with that. Hundreds of billions of dollars in additional value created for American consumers and job creators. They want to seize that initiative for themselves, and so that's part of the reason why we want to make sure we lead when it comes to 5G. And the FCC's 5G Fast Plan, which you can find at fcc.gov/5G, talks about how we're pushing out spectrum in the commercial marketplace, how we're modernizing our regulations to promote the infrastructure of the future, how we're updating our rules to make it easier to deploy fiber. Those are what are going to deliver American leadership in 5G. The second component of it, however, is also working across the administration to make sure that we promote 5G deployment. And that's part of the reason why when the President and I held the event last year on 5G, the President said, and I agree, that we want America to be the best place to innovate and to invest when it comes to 5G technologies. With respect to the second question, which I suppose my answer bleeds into, we've been doing a lot in terms of spectrum alone. 2 successful spectrum auctions of millimeter wave spectrum in the last couple of years. We're in the middle of a spectrum auction right now, which is about to finish up, that's generated over $7 billion in bids, holding 2 more spectrum auctions this year, the 3.5 band on June 25th, the C band on December 8th, and many more bands in the pipeline. Considering where we started in January 2017, when we had no mid-band spectrum on the shelf at all, we've made substantial progress. And I do hope that in a bipartisan way, we can advance this technology to make sure that all of those folks who are thinking about where to invest capital, where to hire teams, they'll set up shop here in the United States to make sure that the innovation happens in a free market, freedom-loving country like ours.
Well, I got to admit, I was astounded to find out in parts of the district that there was no connectivity and that if we're going to do things like telemedicine, telehealth, teleeducation, that's an important part of the process. So I urge you to whatever you can do to help that program. God bless.
Definitely, and along those lines, that's one of the reasons why the 5G fund that I proposed recently is so important. We recognize that no matter how much we modernize our rules, no matter how many spectrum auctions we have, there are going to be parts of the country where you're never going to be able to create a business case for building a 5G network if you're a private company. We think it's the FCC's job to step into that breach, to make that business case, to help make it. And so with that additional infusion of funding, our belief is that we can target parts of the country, rural tribal areas, even maybe densely populated urban areas where providers might not find a case, and allow them to participate in this part of the digital economy. It's really important for us to work together to make sure that no American is left behind when it comes to 5G.
Fantastic. Thank you for your time here today. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir.